You ever worry something into existence? All right. You ever worry the emotional experience of something that never happens into existence? Track with me for just a minute, okay? Corrie ten Boom tells us that wonderful servant of the Lord. Corrie ten Boom tells us that worry is carrying the responsibility, the weight, if you will, of tomorrow today. It's carrying tomorrow's struggle. It's carrying tomorrow's weight. It's carrying tomorrow's troubles in this moment. Now, worry may not create an experience. Worry sometimes, as crazy as it is, worry sometimes creates an experience, but a lot of times, worry is over something that never happens. We begin to worry about something that's going to happen, but it never happens, and we experience the turmoil and pain and suffering of that thing happen, even though it doesn't happen. The emotional experience of that fear, the emotional experience of that concern, the emotional experience of that doubt happens in the moment. Worrying that you're not going to keep your job, worrying that your relationship with your spouse isn't going to work out, worrying that money's not going to be present that you need to sustain life, worrying about all these different things. Worrying weighs you down, and you may have the job of all jobs the rest of your life, in the most beautiful marriage that's wonderful and special, beautiful. You raise kids that are just amazing. But your worry about all those things make you experience suffering and trauma as if they didn't go well, as if things didn't turn out well, as if things went bad. I was talking to my daughter Grace, and she's like, have you ever psyched yourself out so much about something that could happen or maybe happen that you just worked yourself all up and it was just She didn't say that's something I added, and here I am worried that sounded really dumb. Please don't stop listening because I make weird noises. All right. Philippians 4:6 in the Message tells us to allow our worries to be shaped into prayers. Okay? Worried about your relationship with your spouse. Allow that worry to be shaped into a prayer that says, God, give me direction. God, give me destiny. God, give me purpose to make this marriage the most beautiful, amazing, wonderful thing that any human being could ever experience. My worry about whether or not my job is going to sustain me, or I'm going to keep my job, or if I'm going to have a job that's good enough. Let that worry shape your prayers into making the job that you have in the moment the best job ever. Or believing and having confidence, working with great effort to make that job better or to get a different job. Moving up, if you will, not in a negative way, but moving up and moving into greater opportunities because of the skill sets that you have worked at, because you've turned your worries into prayers, and in those prayers, God has given you direction. The beautiful thing is that when we turn our worries into prayers, the exchange that takes place is that we experience peace. And Philippians 4:6 and 7 tells us about that we will experience a peace that, as some translations say, it transcends all understanding. Like it doesn't make sense. It's something hard to comprehend. We can't in our own thoughts. We can't make sense of it. We just know that it's there. We can't make sense of it, but we know that we have that peace, and we've experienced that peace. So what worries are you experiencing right now? You experiencing worries about this virus? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about your finances? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about your relationship with your spouse? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about your relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about your relationship with your siblings or your friends? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about the doctor diagnosis? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about what's going to happen tomorrow? Turn those worries into prayers. You worried about what's going to happen the rest of today or this evening? Turn those worries into prayers. Allow those worries to not be controlling, but to shape your thoughts and your patterns in a more positive way as you release the burdens into God's hands, and watch as He takes the very things that you were worried about as an instrument to get you closer to Him, more deeply connected to Him, and experience His perfect, wonderful, loving peace. Jesus loves you.